Every day there's the latest installment, the latest fact, the latest what? What? Or WTF, as some kids might say, regarding the Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, TPUSA story that Candace is unraveling. And like a soap opera or some Netflix series that you're binge watching, I can't get away from this. And it's not like I don't want to. Look, I've got better things to do in my life. I've got stuff to do. I just want to think, okay, this story is pretty much done. Then there's another one. There's another fact. A fact that just doesn't make any sense. And that's the part that maybe you're like me. It's just somebody tell me, are you negligent? Are you just stupid? Or are they just liars? And there's one question that Candace Owens says she can't shake when it comes to the death of Charlie Kirk. Not ballistics, which we don't know about yet, not suspects, not politics. It's something simpler and somehow more disturbing. Why did Erika Kirk, according to maybe I'm misunderstanding something. Maybe it's me, but why did Erika Kirk wait on the tarmac for more than an hour before going to the hospital after learning her husband had been shot? Now, in cross-examination, when you're impeaching a witness, that's called a collateral issue. That's when you're asking questions about such and such, about the crime, and then they lie or appear to lie or distort about something that has nothing really to do, but it does or it doesn't. It's called a collateral matter. And the question is, under evidence law, can you impeach on a collateral matter? So what people are saying is they're asking, well, assume maybe she was there for an hour. I mean, what difference does it make? Because it doesn't make any sense. And it's the stuff that doesn't make any sense, which every prosecutor or detective, and remember I'm a former prosecutor, will tell you, that's the stuff you follow up on. That's the question. And once you hear the timeline as it has been publicly described by people who know, by people close to the situation, it raises more questions. More questions than answers. It keeps opening up. It's like this wound, this scab that won't heal. Because in moments of crisis, people tend to behave in predictable ways. You can ask yourself, is that normal? Is that rational? Would I have acted like that? It's that simple. They rush, they panic, they move towards hospitals, they move heaven and earth. They cling to loved ones. Nothing can get in the way of their loved one who lay dying or dead or worse than dead. I don't know. But the point is, they don't usually wait on airport runways coordinating arrivals unless there is a specific reason, or because they're so lax and so lazy with the storyline because you don't deserve the truth that they throw things out, and then later on they realize, oh yeah, I guess that does make no sense. Yet according to accounts, Candace Owens says she received directly from Andrew Kovette, now the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show, which is almost sacrilegious in its own right, and a prominent spokesperson for TPUSA, according to Candace now. That is exactly what happened. Now Kovette described being on a flight, according to Candace, while news was breaking about Charlie's condition, intense anxiety, messages pouring in, not knowing whether Charlie was alive. Then describing how when his plane landed, and I think somebody brought up, are these private planes or is this commercial? Or are you waiting to deplane? Anyway, but once his plane landed, he ran off and collapsed emotionally into Erika Kirk's arms on the tarmac, crying from the stress, lacrimating, absolutely just giving in to the weight and the horror and the tumult of the situation. Here's where the timeline becomes confusing. Candace states the two flights landed about an hour apart, meaning, according to Candace, can you think of any better? Can you think of anybody else here? Who else are you watching? Huh? Who? Meaning, according to Candace, that Erika Kirk had already landed and waited on the tarmac for over an hour. This can't be. Not at the hospital, not in transit, Not in the waiting room. Waiting for this moment. This moment. Candace also says that Erika told her she learned Charlie had died before they even departed Arizona. Okay, this is where I'm thinking, what? Now, I'll let you figure out the dots and the red strings in the operating, the situation room. But from what I'm hearing, and this is where my head explodes, so the question becomes unavoidable. If she already knew he had died, why wait on the tarmac before proceeding to the hospital? I don't understand. You know what? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm stupid. I must be hearing the wrong. This can't be, right? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me. I can take it. Please. I don't want to be right. I want to be wrong. I want to say, no, that can't be. And if she didn't yet know officially, why wait at all when every minute counts? That hour is the center of the mystery. Human behavior in crisis follows patterns. Parents rush to emergency rooms. Spouses demand updates and answers. Family members crowd waiting rooms. Waiting on a runway. If this is not, it's not typical. Tell me there's a mistake. Tell me. I'll take it. It doesn't automatically mean wrongdoing. It doesn't mean complicity. But it does demand explanation, especially when that waiting appears coordinated around another individual's arrival, which makes even less sense. Why was Andrew Kovette's arrival prioritized before heading to the hospital? Why? Why was emotional reunion on a tarmac prioritized over immediate hospital access? These aren't accusations. These are reasonable questions. Reasonable questions that we ask, and a lot of rational people ask as well. If you're watching a crime scene or a true crime special, you listen to these things. Because these questions that are brought up, again, were based upon public or statements made in public. Now, the questions do not stop there. No, of course not. Candace states that when they eventually arrived at the hospital, Erika Kirk and Andrew Kovette did not enter together and use separate entrances. Again, this doesn't automatically indicate any kind of wrongdoing. Certainly not. Hospitals will route people differently, and security sometimes requires this, especially when it's something high profile, obviously. But layered on top of the tarmac delay, it becomes another inconsistency. If two people arrive together after waiting an hour, why split up the entrance? Why not walk in together? Why not move as a group, as a unit? Normal, so you can talk to each other. That's kind of what you want to do. Why create physical separation at that moment? Then there is the emotional detail itself. This Kovette reportedly described collapsing. This is again, please. If I've got this wrong, please, I stand corrected. Please tell me I'm wrong. According to what Candace says, Andrew was collapsing into Erika Kirk's arms, even though he was traveling with his own spouse, I guess. And that raises another question. Why describe emotional collapse into Erika's arms rather than his own wife's? It's okay. It's okay. Again, it's not against the law. Sometimes when I think, a lot of times I'll say, well, I would want to rule that immediately. Somebody not getting the official narrative right, thinking they had to explain the official narrative. They had to. This is the story. This is the piece that we're going with. Again, not proof of anything, but odd enough that it sticks in the mind. I say, what? Doesn't make any sense. What troubles many observers is not any single detail. It's the accumulation, the waiting, the timing, the different entrances, the emotional narrative, the lack of clear public explanation. When small inconsistencies stack up, they create the feeling that the story is incomplete. And that doesn't mean malicious intent, of course, but it does mean transparency becomes more important, not less. Critics will argue leadership failed here by responding defensively rather than clarifying timelines and decisions. Yeah. That approach backfires, certainly. Candace Owens has said she can analyze complex theories, but this detail bothers her because it involves basic human reaction, almost patellar reaction, a reflex, Pavlovian, if you will. Why wait? Why not rush? Why prioritize a runway meeting? Well, why? Why coordinate arrivals instead of going straight to the hospital? It's not about conspiracies, it's about choices, and choices should be easy to explain, and they should make sense. So far, no clear explanation has been publicly provided that resolves this timeline confusion. You know, when JFK was killed, Jackie Kennedy didn't tell people to stop asking questions. She didn't shame the public into silence. Public grief coexisted with public inquiry, and she welcomed it. Here, critics argue the opposite happened. Instead of inviting transparency, leadership posture shifted towards controlling the narrative and discouraging investigation, which fuels distrust, especially after what fueled your question, your inquiry, was some position that was nuts, that didn't make any sense. That's the part which I find fascinating. That's the part that kills me. TPUSA is not just a private family matter. It's a massive political organization with donors and volunteers and millions of supporters emotionally invested in Charlie Kirk's legacy. And people, frankly, this should be no shock, people expect answers, not gossip, not speculation. Basic transparency, timelines, clear statements, consistent accounts, truth. And when those are missing, people fill the vacuum themselves. See, that's human nature. And this conversation continues months later because it remains unresolved. No official timeline has been reconciled. No detailed explanation has addressed the tarmac delay. No clarification has addressed the entrance separation. No coherent narrative has tied all of these stories and elements together. Responsible investigation doesn't mean declaring guilt. I keep saying that. It means asking for documentation, flight records, arrival times, hospital intake logs, verification, not accusations. It's called transparency, openness, truth. And that protects everyone. Strip away politics and personalities, and one simple question remains. Why was more than an hour spent? Why? Does that make any sense? Let me also tell you, which is also critical, which is something which is really important for you to know. Every single day, as we know, there are different stories. We'll talk about this maybe not, but there's these other stories that are involving allegations of TPUSA officials, employees, who were basically shown the door, given a copy of the home game, as we used to say, and treated either discourteously or rudely. Some have perhaps recorded conversations, whether that is or isn't accepted is another story, and all of that remains to be seen, because whenever there's any kind of accusations of an employee being removed, there are two sides to every story. But let me explain something to you, which is the most important. There is a feeling to this story. Let me back up a little bit. Let me give you an analogy. What's your favorite movie? Okay? I'll tell you mine. It's The Godfather. Godfather 1. Period. And I can't tell you why. Is it the lighting? Is it the dialogue? Is it the acting? I don't know. But it's a feeling. It's like macaroni and cheese. We all love it. Why? I don't know. Is it the macaroni? Is it the cheese? Is it the combination? I don't know. Some things I just don't know. But what it is there's a layered thing. Layered, like textures, like flavors, like storylines, like things. Things that you love because there's various strata. It's stratified. In a similar vein, when you don't like something, when a story doesn't make sense to you, it starts building up. And they're seemingly innocuous. Maybe the little stories. This doesn't make sure, the Tarmac story, the neck that, the steel vertebrae, the 30-06. I still love the weird text messages. You keep layering and layering and layering. TPUSA, the Ben Shapiro, what's going on? All these. Erika Kirk, the evil eyes. And pretty soon, it's like particle borders. I mean, it is so layered, so complex, so multi-leveled that the story stinks. And every day you say, what? What now? This is what my wife will tell you. Say, what? Come on, Candace, please. Enough. I got another one. Jesus. Another one? What now? Well, here's another story. Here's something else that Erika did that was weird. And then I saw a picture of her with like Chuck Grassley. And every time I see her, I'm thinking to myself, would you act like a widow? Would you? I mean, we don't want you to pull a Queen Victoria here, but to wear black and sackcloth or whatever it is. But I can't believe it. Can she really be that tone deaf? Can she really be that devoid of any kind of recognition of stagecraft? Is she such a slave to the self-gratification of me, that she just says, I'm in charge now? For the longest time, I've been the... No, listen, Erika, nobody gave a damn about you before. You were Charlie's wife. Yeah, fine. Good for you. Next, it was Charlie. Nobody cared about you. Nobody cared about you. It wasn't you. You were there for the ride. Whatever you had, nobody questioned you. Nobody cared about prior boyfriends or whether you drank or what. Nobody gave a damn. But now, because you've insinuated yourself into this and you've said Charlie would have wanted me to do this, not to mention all of these other questions. And by the way, can you imagine what Candace is holding back? Do you have any idea what she's holding back? If this is, you know she's thinking, I can't say this. But if you met with Candace over a drink or something, say, okay, listen, off the record, tell me something that'll blow my mind. I bet you couldn't sleep at night. I bet you she knows more stuff. And they are just saturating her with everything. You want to hear this? You want to hear this? You're not going to believe this. Because these people are so sloppy. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about insulting your intelligence. And they don't care anything about maintaining the dignity and the glory of Charlie's legacy and his work. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, my friends, what do you think? What am I missing? Tell me. I can take it. I want to be wrong. Please write in, dear friends, in the comments. I've got some questions for you. Thank you so much for your comments have been so brilliant. And I thank you for this. Thank you for your support. Thank you also for following my beloved wife, Lynn's Warriors, on YouTube and the work she's doing, because that's another story. You want to talk about something that keeps you up? Listen, as horrible as Erika Kirk's behavior seems to be, nothing compares to what's going on with children. Nothing. So thank you for that, for following Lynn's Warriors. And thank you for following me. Please like the video. You know the routine. Please hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And also make sure that you answer these great questions or provide your own. And dear friend, as I always say to you, I implore, entreat, I importune, I ask, I request, I beseech that you comment as you see fit.